how did you think about who you were bringing on as an investor? Like, did they have to be on board with were they also mission driven to fit into all of this? Was it more, um, someone told me the other day on an episode, the money was green, like, like, how did you think about that?
Yeah. Um, all money is definitely green, but I don't think that like I think who you raise money from in the end matters a lot. Um, we got exceptionally lucky going back to this, original conversation around people and who's around your business that has an impact in the beginning. We had a very small group of investors and they were extraordinary. Um, the same investors that were a part of our Series A basically were a part of our Series B and our Series C. We had a very, very small group of people around Dia, and I think that um, through all the ups and downs, having the depth of those relationships and the longevity of those relationships was actually an incredible help.
Where would you I'm going to lead you with the question, but it's one important one for me is, did each investor add a lot of value in a bunch of different places? Or was it like this investor helped us with this investor helped us with that? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I mean, I think that one of the things that they did a really good job of doing is letting us tell them like where we needed the most help.
Mm.
Um, I mean, our investors, generally speaking, were previous operators, so they brought a ton of
previous operators
practical,
at venture funds.
like
I mean,
currently venture investors,
yeah, yeah.
previously
Wow. Okay.
operators.
That's semi rare.
I I really cannot tell you. I think we had people who were exceptions to this rule for sure, but I think that the idea of deploying massive amounts of capital without ever having run a business yourself is a little risky to me, to put it lightly. I just think that the reality, like once a business hits any amount of scale, the reality of what actually happens and how things actually work and what it actually means to be running a business and an executive team and a product and scaling and all the rest of it, um, is a pretty critical set of experiences that I think are important to have if you have a seat at a board
Hmm.
table.
Hmm.
Um,
But they helped you. I mean, they moved the needle.
yeah, we had an amazing board. We had an amazing board. We had amazing investors. Um, and I mean, it was our responsibility, right? Like it was ultimately, we got advice from them. We got a ton of help from them. They were amazing sounding board in some of the difficult decisions. But at the end of the day, like every decision was ours
Yep.
and every outcome, therefore, was ours to be accountable to. Um,
I like that. Every decision was ours and every outcome was ours.
yeah.
That's it.
And I think that's the way that it has to be,
Yeah, you're right.
right? Like
But a lot of time investors, they make recommendations, they do, but if you do what they suggest and it doesn't work, you're still the one
I'm still the
responsible for the
CEO.
outcome.
Yeah, for sure. Um, look, I think that like in every profession, there's a wide spectrum of investors. I've certainly heard from other founders all kinds of, less positive experiences with board members and investors. But I think that's that part of, someone said this to me when we first started raising money, and it was true. You can divorce your husband before you can divorce your
That's
investor,
true.
right? And so
That's true.
you should, when people say all money is green, I mean, that's true, but you're not just taking their money, you're
Hmm.
taking their expectations, you're taking their decision making, you're taking their presence as a part of your company. And the earlier you bring them on, the longer they're going to have a presence in your business. Um, and so I
That's
think,
a good reminder.
yeah, I think it's like kind of ironic because people think that,
It's a really good reminder.
you know, early
It's
investors,
like a co-found. I mean, the early investors are kind of another.
they're another form of co founders for sure. And if you're lucky, you're doing this for a while, which means
Right.
that you're working with them for a while.
Right.
Um, and I just think that who the people are really matters.